What's going on, Amazon sellers? Let me make sure I can find the camera here on my phone. Coach Chris Specht, the Wise Guy, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter. You can find me on any of those platforms, although I'm rarely ever on Twitter, but on Instagram and YouTube if you need to connect with me. Figured I would go live and quickly do a video for you guys on private label selling, because I haven't done many videos in the last 6 months, maybe even longer than that, specifically on private label selling. And not that I've been getting any requests. I think a lot of people who watch my YouTube channel specifically watch it because they're interested in doing retail arbitrage. But I figure, why not help the people who have started their retail arbitrage businesses and help them now scale that business and kind of change their life. Retail arbitrage, as you all know, and before I go any further, smash that like button right now. Let me know you are on live with me. Let me know that you're tuning in and you want to hear more of this conversation, so smash that like button. Retail arbitrage, for the most part, has its limitations. Because it is a traveling business, it does require time in order to be successful. Now, not to say that retail arbitrage sellers can't make a fairly decent living doing that business, but scaling your business to an extreme level would require you to buy volumes that not a lot of stores would offer you. A lot of times when you're doing retail arbitrage, you're trying to find products, and then when you do find that product, you need to source a lot of volume of that product because that product is a hot seller. What if you couldn't find that product, or had to spend 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, sourcing enough of that inventory in order for you to make enough money doing that? So those are the challenges that come with retail arbitrage, and I think a lot of sellers understand that retail arbitrage is a means to a really good portion of their income. But look, if you're serious about selling on Amazon, then you would also add private label selling to your business if you're not already there. So what is private label selling? Private label selling is you creating a brand from scratch and selling that brand on Amazon. They call it private label because you can ultimately, or you can find products in any niche, and you can call them what you want, and then you can turn around and ship them to Amazon and advertise it as a particular brand that you created. So private label essentially is just another word for branding a product. Private label has a few benefits. The primary benefit that a lot of sellers lean towards is that when you private label a product, and this is kind of the quote unquote loophole that sellers created in order to get away from the competition of selling a product. And the loophole is, if I create a label and brand the product with that label, or let's call it kettle chips or whatever, kettle. If I put the word on the product kettle, and kettle is exclusive to me and to the brand and the design of the logo, if I create that logo and I put it on the product, then I get exclusivity to my listing, because Amazon want their customers buying what it is they ordered. So specifically, if a customer goes onto their website, sees a product called kettles, and on that product in the listing is stamped with the brand kettle, then that customer ordered that product and is expecting that product. You now ship that customer that product. If they bought something that didn't have that brand, it allows you as a seller to go, well, hey, hold on. This listing is exclusive to me because it's my brand, It's my product. I trademarked it. It's an exclusive listing. So it allows sellers to sell exclusively under a listing, whereas in the retail arbitrage world, we all know that exclusivity is really based on product availability. If the product is saturated in the market, then anyone can sell the product. I mean, I was selling a product called Wonder Arms, and when I first found Wonder Arms, it was a very cool, as seen on TV, rubber band meets, uniquely designed bicep device that allows you to increase tension and all that. So a very popular product. YouTubers were loving it and doing videos, and those videos were getting thousands and thousands of views. It's called Wonder Arms, and was able to find that product come out into the Dollaramas that I normally do retail arbitrage at. New product in the Dollaramas, and I thought, let's scan this. It was selling for 20, I think $9 at the time. I could get it for $4 and make myself, close to $20 profit per sale. But the moral of the story is, hot products like that end up having to deal with all the other sellers who are scanning that product and seeing the same numbers, and ultimately want the same results. So they end up buying it, and they list, and you end up with, when I first launched that product, there were maybe 2 sellers. I was able to get one run of inventory of, I think, 20 units, maybe not even that much, were of mine sold before the price went from $29 all the way down to like $12.99, where it became an actual loss because the box was larger and the cost of shipping on Amazon side and the fees were a little bit more. So that was caused by all the other sellers who could sell under that listing. Okay, so just, in a nutshell, retail arbitrage has its pros and its cons, but scaling up isn't one of them. It's tougher to do when you're in retail arbitrage, and whereas in private label, it's easier to do, because if a product's a hit, then you can order as much as you want. If a product is a hit, you can brand the product with a brand that is your own. You can trademark that brand. You can do a brand registry with Amazon, and you can keep the exclusive rights to that brand and the exclusive rights to that listing. If someone jumps on your listing and thinks that they can sell under your listing, then you can combat that by emailing Amazon, by emailing the other lister, and essentially ask them to cease and desist selling on under your listing. And 99 times out of 100, that will be the case. So private label is an effective approach at selling products at scale and in high demand. The challenge a lot of people have with private label is just what do you sell? What is it that I would sell? Well, you can practically sell anything that is not trademarked or patent pending or patented. There are so many products out there in the market that are available for you to source from anywhere in the world. You can source products locally that you can have manufactured for yourself, that you can turn around and brand them with a brand that you came up with. You can then have that brand added, screen printed in color and black and white onto your product. A logo, a name, a combination of the two, and ultimately that brand can become yours. Then you can take great photos of your product and dress it up so that it attracts an audience. You can do things like videos in YouTube, videos on YouTube, Facebook pages on Facebook, Instagram feeds on Instagram, Twitter handle on Twitter for the product. You can do a lot of free promotional stuff for your product, and you can just start building your own brand. So that's what I did. That's what private label is in a nutshell. And then from there, it just grows as you grow it, and as you start to continually do product research. And there are multiple ways to do product research, not just the traditional tools that you can get. but there are a variety of ways that you can find products to sell on Amazon. In fact, the product that I'm launching, likely within the next 2 or 3 days, is a product that I was a consumer of. So I actually bought a product, loved it so much, checked into it to see if it was a patented product of any sort. Turned out it wasn't. Checked into the cost of buying that product. Turned out I could buy it for fairly cheap. Checked into the competition and checked into the numbers on Amazon to see what I could make from the product, and found that the demand was kind of medium level, but the competition was really low. And went through a few more of my checks and balances. Is this product a benefit to people? Will it help people? Does it have a future? Can I see people buying more than one? Couldn't really see people buying more than one unless they were going to gift them, because it's such a great product. Could I see it being a very popular product as time goes on? Yeah. I can see the life cycle of the product being really long, 10 years plus. Improvements you can make to them. So obviously I could come out with a version 2, 3, 4 under the same brand that I create for the product. So that was just one product that I'm launching today. Well, in the next day or so, that came from consumering or being a consumer. So there's multiple ways of figuring that stuff out. But yeah, so private label is essentially there is multiple ways of selling on Amazon, whether you're doing a book business or you're doing a retail arbitrage business or a wholesale business with Amazon. You're doing fulfillment by merchant, or you're doing fulfillment by Amazon, or you're doing a private label business. They all require just as much work. None of them are easy. The harder you work it, the better you are at it, the more you'll get from it. I just find with private label, every time I find a product that is, gaining interest and catching on, I seem to make a lot more money quicker than any other business. But the main thing is, it's so much faster, time-wise, than any other model I know of. Some of the people I know who have all the various different business models spend hours and hours and hours a day managing their business. It is a job. The great thing is, I love selling on Amazon. I think it's the greatest business model in the world. I could do this, and this is why tonight I'm going to be going till about 4 o'clock in the morning researching product. As you can see right here, got my notepad. This is my original notepad, by the way. So check this out. This is actually from April 11th, 2017. And if you do a search for this, I never did launch this, but I was seconds away from launching this product. It's called Money Belts for Travel. And I was this close to launching what I believe today to be the wrong product. And ultimately, after agreeing on a deal with the manufacturer, it wasn't until that 9th hour, whatever the term is, that I just said nope, and I didn't do it. I don't remember exactly. Oh, I knew what exactly it was. The price that I could sell it for, I couldn't see the product. I couldn't see myself being able to increase the price I could sell the product for. But I had another product that was a little more competitive, but if I sold enough units for nothing and got traction and got reviews and was able to, again, get traction and get to page 1, I could see the other product at some point in time selling it for $15 profit. Whereas the belt, I couldn't see it gaining more than like an $18 price point. I just didn't think it would get there. Even though the volume was higher at the time, there was demand, and it was an interesting product. I liked it. I'm so happy I didn't launch it. I'm so happy that I just went with my instincts and launched the product that I launched. To this day, it's still my number one selling product in my storefront, and has brand and become 5 different products because I was able to take that brand and grow that one particular brand of products into a product line. So that's what private label does for you. Is it's that concept of branding a product and labeling your product and then expanding your product ultimately is where you're going to find that money and that income is going to generate from your expansion of a product. What else? If you guys have any questions, if you're still on here, smash that like button right now. Comment below. Let me know where you're from. Canada, the US, Brazil. Doesn't matter. Just let me know. Let me know where you're born. That'd be cool. Curious. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, in Canada. I'm purely Canadian. So let me know in the comment section below. I'm just going to take a look here and see what we got going on for more blah, blah, blah. I don't even know how to run this. I don't have my traditional camera on. So I'm doing product research all night, and the goal has always been to launch 4 new products. I failed completely last month, and I did not get my launches off. But I do have a variety of products that I like and am going to sell. There we go. So, I don't know, live chat, one of these. Okay, if you're on live with me, type your name in the comment section below. Let me know you're on live with me. So, I have 2 products that I've written down that have medium demand, so about 150 units a month, low competition. So, low competition for me is, if you have 20 listings on page 1, how many of those listings have, the important thing is this, how many of those products have reviews? If you're new to selling on Amazon, when you're trying to determine a product's competition, you're trying to figure out 2 things. The first thing is, how many of the sellers, when you type in the product that you want to sell into Amazon, when you type it in, how many of those sellers have a customer base? How many of those sellers have built a brand? The comparison is, if you're into buying running shoes, what comes to mind? Usually a very popular brand comes to mind first and foremost. So the same thing applies when you're on Amazon. When you're buying that product, if a popular brand appears, then it's likely the consumer is going to buy from that brand, especially if the price is competitive. They're going to feel more comfortable buying from that brand. Knowing that you're going to be brand new on Amazon with the product that you're bringing to the table, your competition is going to be not the other sellers, but the market is going to be your competition. You're going to have to try to figure out ways that you can get brand awareness. Priority number 1. How, without selling the product, how can you bring awareness to your brand? What can you do to ignite your brand and get it rolling? Back in the day, they used to pay people to leave reviews on a listing. Today, it is against Amazon's terms of service. You cannot pay somebody to leave your review, even though that would be the fastest way to brand awareness. Because if a customer is on Amazon and looking for your product, they see your product, they will then see a number beside your product with a bunch of stars. Hopefully those stars are 5 of them. Okay. If you have a 5-star review, they're going to go, oh, well, other people liked it. Must be good. I can't touch it and feel it. I want to make sure. They may click on those stars and read some of the reviews. So back in the day, a lot of sellers would cheat. and buy or have their friends and family leave them reviews. That practice still goes on today. And some people feel they can get away with it, and some people are circumventing the system and going through all these different loops and hoops and to get themselves reviews. And it's a risky way to. What's going on, Sonia? It's a risky way to do business because you could risk your entire account. So that isn't necessarily the best way to do it, although I do still know sellers to this day who will do it. But the goal, again, day one with your product, when you launch it, is how can I get brand awareness? How can I get my product to be seen? Okay, if it's seen, then you will get sales. So what a lot of people are doing now is they're creating a listing for their product, and then they are running ads with their product. And that will help create awareness of your product, whether you're running ads specifically on Amazon or you're using Google to run ads with your Amazon website link direct to your Google listing. Those are ways that you can bring awareness to it, but that adds to the cost of launching your product. You can also do a free way to promote your product, which is to jump on Facebook and Instagram and all the social media platforms and build a brand for your products. Again, it's going to take time with those particular methods. You can go on YouTube and create a video around your product, like a product review, and start sharing it. You can also email or create an email database if you have one. Use it. If you don't, just start emailing all of your friends and family the listing of your product and have them buy it. If they buy it, then they can leave you a review. Okay. But those are just some ways to conjure up brand awareness. The goal is to get 3 to 5 reviews on your product as soon as your product arrives at Amazon. To get 3 to 5 reviews on your product. Once you get 3 to 5 reviews on your product, then you can start running Amazon campaigns. That will be a lot more successful on Amazon because most of Amazon's database do read the reviews of a product. That is a pretty important thing to know, is that you need reviews in order to run PPC campaigns. Don't bother running PPC campaigns if you don't have a review or reviews on your products, because you're just going to be wasting your money. People will click on your ad over and over and over, and you probably won't see any sales. You'll probably see a lot of frustrating costs associated with it. Now, that being said, there's some stuff that you can do. Again, when you're creating a listing, another way to get people's attention is with the photos that are built into your private label listing. So when you're creating a listing on Amazon, let's say you're creating a listing of this. If you can put this product in the most impressive photo that will get people's attention, then you will get clicks and likely get people to buy it. The number one thing that people look at on Amazon is exactly how Amazon platforms their product, their website. So when you search a product, the first thing you see to the left is the picture. So your pictures have to be off the chart. So good. And how do you know if your pictures are good? Study your competition. If your competition's pictures are good, you got to find the best competitor and you have to beat them. You have to figure out how you can do exactly what they have, but better. And that's all the time when I'm looking at products and I'm writing them down. Get yourself a book. Make sure that you plan your day, plan your products, write down your products. Every day you're trying to source products. When you're trying to source and do research, you should probably try to, set a goal of I'm going to find 20 products a day or 10 products a day or 50 products a day. And you're going to try to do that day in and day out and day in and day out. And you can do things like walk around your home and see what consumables or, commodities that are everyday products here in your home that might be something that you might want to launch on Amazon. What do you buy that doesn't look like it'd be a patented product that you probably could source from China, and then look into it and see what the demand is for those products. That's another way to do product research, is just to start searching products in your home. Products that you've bought in the past. Like recently, I just bought those spy glasses that I did retail arbitrage. So now I'm thinking, if I like it, maybe other consumers like it. So I'm going to look up the numbers and see if the numbers make any sense. And if they do, then I probably will do a soft launch of 100 units of that product. Again, it depends on what I can get that product for. I actually found that product for less than $20. I found it for $16, but that product on the majority sells for between $50 and $80. So the person that I ended up buying it from, and just through being an expert on Amazon, the person that I ended up buying from is a person that I ended up going through all of my listings for based on price, and just I know how to navigate Amazon pretty well. So I found it for $15. The product is amazing, off the charts. The camera quality is really good. The sound quality of those glasses are off the charts. So again, that's being a consumer and evaluating products as a consumer that you buy that you might want to sell on Amazon is another great way to do private label selling and product research. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, let me know. The product like a camera, private labeling that, how would you private label that? You don't necessarily want to put, unless you have, unless you're thinking of going after Oakley or something like that. Cameras or spy cameras actually do extremely well on Amazon. In fact, in the US, they've decided to discontinue sellers from selling certain kinds of spy cameras. I know that the hidden USB charger camera is no longer a product you can sell on the .com, I believe. That at one point in time, I had a client that was selling upwards 50 units a month. No, a month. 50 units a day of the spy USB camera until cutoff happened, and that ended that amazing run. But I think she peaked at 50 units on that. Not to reveal a product, but once it kind of Amazon discontinued it, you can't really do anything about that. It's a product that you might be able to run in Canada. I don't know. Never looked into it. But spy cameras in general have that following, if you will, that following where people are interested in it. So there's always going to be a demand. The only problem with, I think, products in the electronics world is that there is a liability attached to it that you have to protect yourself from. Fire hazards. There is also a liability from filming that you have to protect yourself from as well. So those are things you would look into. As a private label seller, that kind of brings me to private label selling in general. When you're creating your brand, be sure to cover yourself with liability insurance, because this now becomes its own product identity, and you want to keep it that way. You don't want that product associated with you as the individual. So you want to separate the product, separate your business, separate your brand, insure your product, insure your brand with product liability insurance. Legitimize your business is ultimately module 1 of my course, is how to legitimize your business, and what do you need to know, what do you need to do in order to figure that stuff out. So private label selling. Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you guys are all tuned in. Smash that like button right now. I see there's 4 people on, but only 2 people with that thumbs up. So hit that thumbs up button. Share the video at the end if you want to dare to share, or share if you care, is what I say. Because every day in every way we're going to be getting richer and richer. if you watch these videos that I put out there. Thanks for smashing that like button. We're on number 3. And throw a comment. Let me know where you were born. Where are you from? Are you from Canada, the US, where state? I got clients in Ohio, New York, Cleveland, LA, Chicago. That's about it in the US for my clients. And then across Canada, from here all the way to Toronto. And then that's not even telling where most of my students, I don't know where all my students are from, but they're from all over the world. But let me know where you guys are from in the comment section below, and we'll have a conversation. A lot of times if you leave me a question, my goal is to get back to you within 15 minutes. Sometimes it's at 1 in the morning. Just keep that in mind. If you do leave me a question, I might be getting back to you at 1 in the morning. I'm usually done product research at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I get off to my office for usually for 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. So I live on 5-6 hours sleep when I want to. And then sometimes I'll jump off product research for a long period of time and not worry about that and focus on retail arbitrage. I've handed retail arbitrage to my wife. I no longer do any of the shipping plans or any of the labeling or any of the home side of things with the retail arbitrage business. I only do the fun part, which is sourcing and buying the product when and where I want to. So I'm always out and about doing retail arbitrage when, you know, when we need to. You know, I've taught my wife everything there is to know about how to do it and how to completely front to back a shipping plan and monitor and manage that business. So yay, excited for that, push that off. Now it allows me more time to launch a lot of more products. So a lot of people have been asking me 2 questions. I'll actually give you 2 questions I've been asked a lot. So I actually got one. What up? Oh yes, Anya, you're from Mexico, living in Kansas. Oh, that's off the charts. That is great. You should move to Canada. That's where it's at. US is super competitive with selling on Amazon, which is a great thing. That is a great thing. Is you will always be able to find products. Let me put this out there. You will always be able to find products that have low demand, that have medium competition. My best combination, it rarely exists that you have low demand, high competition, but they're out there. You just got to search really hard for products that have low demand and high competition. And don't just rely on tools like Jungle Scout or any of the other software programs that will help you filter through, you know, the demand, you know, the filter through Amazon's website and show you the products. Use your personal shopping experience. I have 4 major products in my business that came from personally shopping for products. Whether I was doing retail arbitrage and just happened to stumble upon products that had really good demand that I then turned into private label, or products that I consume, like the glasses, like some of the other products that I consume that I found an interest in turning into private label products, can come from that world as well. And like I said, when you walk around your house, what do you buy? What would you buy other people? What have you bought multiples of that you think, I might be able to turn this into a private label product? Then look up the demand on those products, and if you can find that they're low competition, but are also medium demand, you'll want to consider launching it. So medium demand generally is 100 units a month, 150 units a month. So that's low demand, is 150 units a month. Medium demand is roughly around, in the US it'd be usually about 300 would be medium demand. So it'd be like 300 would be like, you know, a lot of people call it like low demand. Well, so I always coin it baseball terms. So 150 units a month is a base hit. 300 units a month is a home run. 500 plus units a month is a grand slam. Because especially if they're products that you can make $10 a product, $10 a sale profit off of, is the whole kind of common denominator amongst most people who teach people how to sell on Amazon. If you can find a product that makes you $10 profit and you can sell 10 a day, you're making $100 a day, that whole thing. Okay. What if you're only able to find products that move 150 units a month? Well, then how much profit are you making from those? Would you pass up on a product where it's only selling 100, but your profit is $20 or your $15? So there's always going to be variables to how you look at demand on a product. But medium demand is what I'm shooting for right now. I'm not looking for huge numbers. I'm looking for products that if I launch 4 every month of products that I can source for $1 or $2 from China and resell them for $15 to $25, and I can get 100 sales a month, then I can easily find $5 in essentially a buy. And if you follow the math, so if I can find 4 products, I'm buying them for $1 or $2. Even if they're 2, that's $8 cost. That's 4 products selling for anywhere upwards. 15 times 4 is $60 to 25 times 4 is $100. So 60 to 100. Profit wise, anywhere from $5 to $15. Again, it's a lot of sales and actually a more stable business because you have multiple products and not just a single product. So that's kind of the mindset that I've been under for the last year. And the other advantage with finding multiple products that are, one, you don't have to spend a lot. If you're sourcing products and you're used to being told, well, you need to source at least 500 units of the product for you to, sell enough for no profit. Maybe that's 100 units where you're selling it for no profit and then you're getting reviews. And then out of those 100 sales, you get 5 reviews. Then you're able to try to play with the price and up it $1 and sell another 100 units for $1 profit and get 5 more reviews. The whole theory of buying 500 units is that you don't run out of inventory. But people are always missing the step before, and the step before is the most important step is, will the product stick? When you launch a product, will there be an attraction? Will people buy your product? And so I'd rather advise people that I'd rather see you buy 4 products at 100 minimum and launch 4 products with 100 with still the same intention of making no money on those 100 units. I'd rather you do that and 2 stick than you just launch 1 product and it not stick and you're stuck with 500 units of inventory slowly trickling and costing you a little bit of fees on Amazon because you have 500 units that are taking you a year to sell. And that's been really a downfall for, I would say, thousands and thousands of Amazon sellers, is that they'll only find 1 unit, they will invest into 500 quantity, times that by whatever, $3, $5, so $1,500, $2,500 into 1 product, and it's sitting at Amazon and they're getting 1 sale a day or 1 sale a week, and they're getting 0 traction, and they start playing with their price and they start losing interest and they start getting frustrated. Change the way you think. Start thinking, how can I get more out of this? More out of selling on Amazon? How can I see my success ratio go up? This is kind of questions I was asking myself. How can I see my success ratio go up? And I started going, well, I'm finding more products that look good to me, that's checking all the boxes. Demand's good, competition's low, price is good, sales are decent, sells 100 units. So my whole thing was, well, let me let me buy less, buy all of these products, launch them, and instead of selling them in the very beginning with making no profit, let me start playing with the price right away. Let me start just undercutting the competition by a little bit right away. Let me start doing more on my end, things like, let me create a Facebook page for each one of these products. Let me engage with, Instagram followers, and let me engage with Instagram groups in that niche. Let me get a Facebook page going, and let me join 10 groups in that niche and start engaging in those groups, not specific to sellers, but specific to people who are actively using, if you're into photography and you're selling something like a camera, a spy cam, join, mommy groups, daddy groups, join camera groups, join spy groups, all those type of stuff. So anyways, that's just kind of the mindset of what a successful seller could achieve if they were to launch more units with, say, less volume up front. What you'll find is that if you did your homework properly and you found the easier buys, so if you found the ones that, people probably not jumping on these 100 unit a month items, you started launching 3 or 4 or 5 or 12, which is actually my goal, is to do a 12 product launch at the end of next month. So at the end of July, for the month of July, I'm going to try to launch 12 products at a minimum of 100 units per product, and create 12 new listings and have those all launched by July 31st. Then I'm going to try to, it's going to take a month. So during that month, I'm going to create and manage and optimize the fuck out of 12 listings and photos. I'm going to invest in photos at about $50 a listing, so $600 invested into photos. And then I'm going to create Facebook pages and Instagrams and start trying to get my product out there. And that, I'm no expert in that, so I'm learning as much as I can. But I have a couple groups that have 100 members that have left me reviews and product reviews in the group and have helped my product. But I also run Facebook ads. I also run Instagram ads. I also run, like, Amazon is just normal. That's like an ad I run. I don't even think about it. YouTube video ads all make sense. If you can create a 15-second commercial, which there's so many tools that, like, I have an app on my phone called, what is it called? But it takes a video that you make and it can turn it into a 15-second video just like that. Just from filming something for a minute, it'll turn into an amazing 15-second video. You can throw it on YouTube and then you can run an ad. You may have music on that video. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It just means on YouTube, you're going to be ineligible to monetize it in terms of monetizing, making money on it. But sometimes they won't let you run an ad with ineligible videos that have wrong music. So sometimes it makes more sense to use on whatever music that you can use or whatever. I forget what it's called. But I'm just rambling on. It's one of those ramble sessions. Let's see. So what's going on, Jason? Good to see you. You're awake, man. Born in Grand Prairie. Grand Prairie. Good Lord. Where's Grand Prairie? Grand Prairie. Alberta. Of course it's in Alberta. I should have known it's in Alberta. Respect. Not bad compared to being born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is where I'm born. So I just rambled on about a bunch of stuff and just kind of going over private label for everybody. And just, again, most important thing is that you get products. I wouldn't focus on just a single. I would focus on at least 4 for your first launch. I wouldn't focus on 500 quantity of one. I would focus on at least 100 quantity of 4. When your products arrive at Amazon, one, be prepared to, excuse me, be prepared to sell the products for nothing or a little bit over profit, you know, a little bit over break even, and try to conjure up sales. A lot of people will search by price, and then just really try to do a great job attracting them with your listing title and your photo, your home photo and your main photo and your listing title. Like attract them. You got to have a hook in that title. The first part has got to really be their keyword. Use adjectives. Catch their attention. Get their attention. Promise them. Give them a guarantee. Give them a reason to buy from you in their title in the very beginning. Guaranteed or money back, even though that's Amazon's thing, say it in your title in the very beginning. What else? So yeah, so a product launch, be prepared to order more inventory. As soon as you start to get down and you're like, I'm getting one. The day you sell 5, order more inventory. If you sold 5 units in a day, that means your product's stuck. That means your product will stick and you will continue to sell more. Just order another 100 units or order however much you want to invest into that product. If your product, let me repeat, if your product sells 5 units in one day, your listing has stuck. If your product sells half of its inventory in 1 month, you must order more. Remember, your second run is gonna take longer than your first run. Let me say that again. Your second run of inventory is going to take longer to arrive at Amazon than your first run. A lot of times your suppliers will overdo themselves the very first time. They'll, not only meet the deadlines that they pose on themselves, like I will produce the inventory in 25 days, it'll arrive to Amazon in 7 days, 32 days, your product will be live. The second time around, when you go to reorder, it's not as quick. I've had that happen to me more times than not, so just know that it's not as quick. What you don't want to do is run out of inventory. If there are ways you can pause your inventory, you can pause your listing to keep your rank. You can raise your price to slow sales down. You can also test your price during the time where your inventory is trickling out. But if your product is starting to generate sales on a day-to-day basis, then I would reorder your inventory and start going strong. Evaluate. Like if initially the product, like my rule of thumb is 3 months. Have 3 months of inventory on hand. So if you did the numbers and you run your numbers and you type in whatever your keywords are, your main keywords for your product, and then you check on the averages, and the average, let's just say the average is 150 units per month is the average of page 1, times that by 3. That's how much inventory you should hold. That's what I hold. So if it's 150, I'll hold 450 units when I know the product is going to continually do well. The other thing is, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so going back to how much sales per day. I've been on some products, especially if the profit is higher, if I'm selling 1 a day, then I will reorder more inventory. So if I see consistent sales at 1 per day, that's 30 per month, that is equivalent to what I currently, so that 30 per month, that's 90 over 3 months. That means that it's going to be, that's the whole 100 that I ordered. I will reorder 100. So if I see 1 a day, consecutively every day, all the time, then I will always keep my inventory at 100 quantity. So I won't necessarily let it run down, although you can let it run down to 50. You always want to have at least 1 month's supply on hand, or 1.5 months supply on hand of inventory. So, you know, half your inventory essentially is what you want to have on hand. So if you had 450, when you get down to 225, you want to reorder at that point. If your number was 100 a month, when you get down to 50, you want to reorder at that point. And then that's just the volume. So I just kind of rambled on about private label, nothing really structured in this video. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you're still on, smash that like button. Thank you for doing that. And throw a comment. Let me know where you guys are from and where you were born. And we'll chat. I'll leave you a comment and we'll connect. Coach Respect, the wise guy.